been listening to The Big Wheel by Icehouse. Good song though. I listened to this when I was playing Death Stranding 2. That was a game that not that good. I mean, it was good. I liked it. It was way better than Death Stranding 1. People who say Death Stranding 2 is such a departure from Death Stranding 1. Oh yeah, that's because after playing Death Stranding 1, you figured out that the best way to do everything was just use a fucking vehicle. That's what really bugged me, is that everybody always was looking at Death Stranding 1 as like, oh my gosh, this is such a masterpiece, man. You have to really like navigate the terrain and use like interesting solutions to get around it and like get good deliveries. Which, by the way, that's bullshit. You almost never had any risk of your delivery being utterly destroyed. So the only thing motivating you was, I guess, getting a higher score. But what did getting a higher score on your delivery even get you? It got you jack shit. And so the only I always hate using score systems as a method of gauging how to get people into. I'm gonna try and move this. We may be getting a little too quiet here because I had to move the thing. Anyway, hopefully not too loud. Ooh, I see the microphone moving. Anyway, but I always hate using scoring systems as a means of gauging, getting players into the movement of actually being good at the game and engaging with it properly. It's just not a good motivator because at the end of the day, if people get frustrated, they're just gonna do whatever's necessary to get the thing done. They ain't gonna give a fuck about how ethical and cool it is. I just did this when I was playing Gloomwood. I was playing Gloomwood on harder difficulty, and I was getting pissed off fighting the Goat Man. So instead of trying to do anything cool, like trying to matador it with the cane sword, I said, screw this, and I just flare gunned him and spam shotgun and revolver shots at him. And so same thing with, that's why scoring systems aren't that great. You have to actually put real challenge into the situation if you want to motivate players to engage with the game properly. And Death Stranding 1 didn't do that, dude. You never had to worry about anything. All right, I played the game. I got damn near halfway through the entire thing, and don't tell me, oh, well, you really got to press forward because, dude, that's what really pulled me out. I got halfway through the game, and I was kind of like, this is okay, I guess. Hopefully it's wrapping up soon. And then the guy literally came over the radio and told me, "Good job, Sam. You're halfway there." And I was like, bro, what? Because up until that point, dude, every single objective I went through, aside from one, forced I could just use a vehicle to get around every single problem. No problem. The motorcycle was no problem. And even if there's sections, by the way, that didn't require me to use a vehicle, so what? Is that suddenly better? Is the game suddenly better now that I have to walk? It's basically the same thing as using a vehicle, except instead of moving there quickly, I'm going there slower. Is that somehow better? No, this game would have been good, Death Stranding 1, if you actually had to plan your routes and you had to actually use your ladders and your other tools properly. There should have been much more of a cost or to every single decision you make. Like, oh, should I use a ladder here? But that means I won't have a ladder later. Oh, should I use a grapple point here? Oh, but it's gonna be, I'm be making a detour. It's gonna be slower than going around doing this thing. But I'll be giving myself a path backwards later. Oh, should I use the floating carrier here? Oh, it may fall apart and break off if I go through this cliffy terrain or whatever. It's a whole, you should be making decisions, but Death Stranding 1 didn't demand any decision making out of you. Just walk from objective A to objective B, and people pretend that because they personally felt like it was cool to waste time and put ladders down to crosswalk things, they thought the game was good. Now, if I played through the entire thing, I probably would have the same perspective I have about Death Stranding 2, but I didn't. So my end point of Death Stranding 1 was, this game, not that great. Death Stranding 2, on the other hand, it had a lot more situations in the beginning, I would say, where you actually did need to use your tools. The combat was a lot more engaging, so it was a good pace breaker in between the constant walking around and doing things. The map change was so important. I don't know why it wasn't there in the first game, because now the map actually allows you to properly plan routes and get an idea of what you're supposed to be doing when you go and do a plan. Like, I remember Death Stranding 1, after you dumped off that first corpse, they tried to do this by saying, oh, pick which path you want to choose. But from the top-down angle, you don't even get a good idea of the elevation you're at. But Death Stranding 2 actually fixed that. But then the game kind of, after that point, after you get but the moment you enter into that desert area and you go talking to the mother, or not the mother, but like, the sisterhood or whatever, with the bald bitch with the big wide eyes that's in every single video game because, her agent just wants her to be shoveled out there and have no like real quality to her work. Fun little fact, guys, you can't, if you're an actor, don't just put your shit in every single thing. Maybe it's going to get you a lot of money, but it's going to completely reduce whatever quality of work you have. Like Gianni Montenegro, I thought years ago he was a pretty cool voice actor, but now that he's basically spread his entire voice acting lineup across every single New Blood game, and he also makes all these videos online that are all jokes. Every time I hear his voice in a game now, I'm not thinking, oh wow, this is a really interesting character and the guy who's performing him is really interesting. I'm thinking, why is Gianni Montenegro here? Isn't he the guy who does ironic memes? Anyway, I got sidetracked. But anyway, so at that point in the game, when you get to see the big bald-headed black bitch, the game like immediately turns into like a snooze fest where you just are walking around and you can just take your sweet ass time and not have to worry about anything. There's a couple incidents here and there where that wasn't the case. But the whole point I'm trying to make with this whole video is that I still think Death Stranding 2 was a great game. And you want to know why? It's because of the ending. All right? The ending of something is so unbelievably powerful. It can completely reshape how you view a whole product. And that's what Death Stranding 2's ending did for me. From the moment after you beat Neil Vana in that last encounter with him to the end of the game, the story was just hitting me on every single front. All right, some of it was kind of stupid, with, like with Har coming back. That whole thing was a little funny, but then when he was actually here and doing his funny little lines, it was so fun and satisfying. It just made the whole encounter fun. Now, and that there were still tons of gameplay issues. I mean, why in the hell was the sword fight with that guy, the samurai dude, so lame at the end? Why did we even have to have that fight? It was just stupid. Why didn't we have a better, a more complex melee system? I mean, the training simulations had better. But anyway, besides all that though, you combine that all together into the satisfying crescendo of an ending. Every single lukewarm, mediocre opinion I had for the entire experience up until that point, erased, gone from my memory. So yeah, in life, the ending is what matters. Make sure you get the ending right. Even good games, if they don't have a good ending, they kind of leave me a little lukewarm. Like Doom Eternal, I love that game. I played the hell out of it. I loved it. But when I got to the end and the credits was just like fade away as Doom guy stands on top of a building and then credits roll, it's a top-down thing. I was like, what the hell is this? Doom 2016, you were like showing all these different areas of the complex and you were getting all these different like subtext popping up on screen. It was a cool credit sequence. I was expecting a proper ending. You didn't give it to me. And now, just because of that bad credit sequence, the whole entire experience I view from that lens of just kind of slightly mediocre. Now, I know that's not the case, but that's how powerful the ending is. Anyway, that's all I'm trying to say.